In this session, we want to talk about building public opinion. What is public opinion? How do we define public opinion? Public opinion is the aggregate of individual attitudes or beliefs held by the adult population. Who is the adult population? Adult population is anybody who is 18 years above. Okay. So it's largely your belief systems, your approach or attitude towards certain issues um, that could be defined as something that frames public opinion. Basically, it is opinions of large sections of people on important issues. Okay, so two things here. One is defining what is the size of the population. So when there's large group of people having similar kind of an opinion on one particular issue, then we can say that there is public consensus on X issue or Y issue, which means large number of people are agreeing to this particular topic. Okay, so generally speaking, whatever opinions you have regarding various important issues pertaining to our country would be defined as um, public opinion. What it does is it represents people's collective preferences on matters that matters to the government and politics. So primarily our take on how the government is performing its role in governance and politics. When a lot of people agree to this, that creates some sort of a public opinion. Public opinion is a complex phenomena, and scholars have developed variety of interpretations of what public opinion possibly is or what public opinion could possibly mean. So there are two different perspectives to it. One is that individual opinions matter. Okay, you and me, you're individuals, and our opinions matter. And the opinions of the majority should be weighed more than the opinions of the minority when leaders make decisions. Who are leaders? Leaders are the elected representatives. Okay, they are our leaders. When they make some sort of a decision, they must keep in mind the opinions of the majority as against opinions of the minority. Okay, that's a general understanding. There's also a contrasting view to this. What is the contrasting view? The contrasting view is that public opinion is controlled by organized groups. Now, these organized groups could be social groups, political groups, government leaders, and media elites. Who are the media elites? Those people who are at the helm of the production of media content. Okay, your editors, publishers, those people who own media houses, they are the media elites, right? And people whose opinion matters in influencing a larger number of public, government leaders, and organized groups. Organized group could be, like I told you, could be political group, religious groups, any of those. Opinions of those in position of power or who have access to those in power carry the most weight. So what you and me think might not matter. But tomorrow, if I am holding a certain position, if I am an elite in a certain sense, then what I say would hold matter in the public. That's why celebrities are brought in for election campaign. That's why celebrities become the face of a particular product. There's a direct correlation between how a product is advertised and who is advertising it, right? Sachin Tendulkar is not an engineer who has great opinions about a particular model of Ferrari. But still, Sachin Tendulkar is the face of Ferrari. And people tend to buy that idea. So this is where public consensus matter. This is where those people who are in influential position can control the opinion of the public. And those people who have access to power, their opinions will matter most. Or those people who know who has access to power. So either you can get the work done or you do the work. Either way. According to American sociologist Herbert Blumer, there are many publics. So when we look at how do we define who the public is, each of them comes into being when an issue arises and ceases to exist when the issue is resolved. So when we try to define who the public is, it will only come in the certain context. And the context is when there are issues of importance that surface in the society. You would find opinion leaders emerging out of it. People who have a certain say in certain things. Example, when a politician talks about the public, he means the voter in his constituency. When an industrialist talks about the public, he means his potential customers, stakeholders, or shareholders. Okay? So primarily the consumers, the voters, are the ones who become the public. Because you are the one who have voted a political leader and elected them who happens to be your representative. A company will shut down if we stop buying products. So for the company, the public is the primary stakeholder. Right? That's the correlation. The opinions of some individuals matter more than others. Why do you think that happens? Why do you think such kind of a scenario arises in the first place? Then that some individuals' opinion matter more than the others. It happens because there is a certain power equation that exists in the society. When I look at you and I look at a 5-year-old, I am natural. It's natural for me to show you more respect than a 5-year-old of your opinions. In general, I might like the 5-year-old more than you. Okay, but when you say something, I'll hold your opinion in respect as against a 5-year-old. Similarly, where you are placed in the societal ecosystem, understand there is a societal ecosystem that exists. Right from the elites to the lowest socioeconomic class people in the society. And that's how opinion spreads. That's how opinion matters. I'll say you something, principal will come and say you something. Who do you think you are going to buy? Whose opinion do you think you are going to buy? So when this happens, this ecosystem, a college is also ecosystem, where in the hierarchical process, the principal is above me. You are the stakeholders, you are the public. Getting the point? In this college, the principal's authoritarian position allows him to be a person whose opinion matters more than you and me. You come last in the bottom. I mean, you come last in the ecosystem in this sort of an arrangement. So an educated person's opinion matters more than that of an uneducated person. And that's how public opinions are shaped and defined. What is public opinion shaped by? What are the factors that shape public opinion? It's not a very difficult thing to understand that media plays a larger role in shaping public opinion. Because what media is doing is constantly trying to offer you content which could possibly make you aware. This is the assumed role of media, that media is supposed to educate you. Media is supposed to make you aware. In the process of educating you and making you more aware about certain issues and certain things, it's also subconsciously working on your cognitive aspects. So there is a certain value judgment you create of every content that is offered to you by the media. And that's how public opinion is also shaped largely by newspapers, magazines, journals, television, documentaries, because constantly they're trying to offer you some kind of a content or the other that should help you educate yourself, that should help you be aware about the state of things as they stand. Newspaper, being the cheapest media, allows us to spread mass education. Its influence has increased by a large extent because a lot of people can read and write. The basics. They can identify and they can read. That's how it's spread. If you can't read, I'll read a newspaper out to you and I'll tell you what is happening in and around. That's how it's spread, right? However, the criticism of the press is that they are mostly owned and controlled by the capitalist class. What is the capitalist class? The capitalist class is basically those people, the community, who are the rich and the powerful in the society, the elite. What do? They have the means to produce and control any kind of public good production and consumption. And they can use the press to report facts that are convenient to them. If you are running a business organization, you would want your business organizations to grow. And for that, if there is any kind of a favor that is required from the media in promoting your product, in promoting your philosophy, in promoting you or the company's thought process, you would try to do that. What is happening is you're constantly needling people's mind. This is the best phone in the market. 20,000 times, if every time you open a newspaper, a magazine, a television channel, all that you see is the propagation of this idea that this is the best phone in the market, you would buy into that idea. If you do not have an iPhone, you do not have an iPhone. That's a statement. What does it mean? Rhetorically speaking, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, I don't have an iPhone. That's why I don't have an iPhone. But in a sentence, when iPhone is repeated so many times, it's likely to create a certain kind of a curiosity and a certain kind of a class consciousness. Understand how subconsciously it sits into your mind. If you're not an iPhone user, you are subclass. There could be 20,000 better phones than iPhone, but doesn't matter. You don't belong to the iOS user. You don't belong to the community. If you have not seen Game of Thrones, you don't belong to this class. There's so many people who have seen Game of Thrones. Who doesn't know who the writer is? No, that's a different thing. I'm saying you don't know. You have seen. No, I'm saying it's a choice you could make, but this is how media shapes our opinion. So the elite is largely controlling the media, controlling the message, creating and controlling how your mind should shape up. And that was not enough. Now you have AI to tell you what songs you must listen to. That's the ad, right? Alexa, play me a song that reminds me of my breakup. Other media such as television and radio can also influence public opinion. They are not screaming on the mainstream news channels at 7 p.m. in the prime time for no reason. They want you to buy into their idea. 5 minutes later, the same person is selling you toothpaste. Next day morning, you see that person selling you car on a huge 70/70 billboard. What is happening in the process is very sociological in nature. Understand that. What is happening here is very sociological in nature. One person gets influenced, the other person can influence. Farida, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. So whatever is shown on the television, whatever you hear in the radio, is subconsciously shaping you. Whether you fall into it or not is a choice you make. That depends on how much of conscious effort you are putting to understand what kind of content is offered to you. The facts, news reported in the media, which shape public opinion, is determined by journalists. That's why their role is extremely important. What you write can influence public mind, can influence public's opinion. You have to be extremely thorough and careful while writing. Thus, journalism, which controls the flow of news, can influence public opinion to a large extent. There are news that doesn't reach you, for which people lose lives. Who are the people who lose lives? No. Soldier's job is not to influence public opinion by offering you information. Their job is to protect, safeguard a geography and the people. People who lose lives are journalists and RTI activists. Those people who time and again file right to information documents to know they lose lives. They lose lives because corporates, mafia, politicians do not want that information to go public. Because that can alter their position in the democracy. It can bring in new kind of public consensus. It can lead to public disagreements, which is what is happening. If you look at CANRC, if you look at the farmer laws, you look at a lot of protesting people, a lot of people protesting against it. But you also need to go into the root of this sociological phenomena called protest. Why do people protest? It's not one person protesting. Even a one-person protest is a valid protest because it's a democracy. How much result it is going to bring in, that's a different thing. When movements start from one corner of the country to another, understand people do so to show solidarity, which means there is already a larger public opinion that is being formed. Whether the media is taking this case forward or not is left to the media. But media has the power to regulate the content flow by not showing you. Do you think you know everything that is happening in Assam, Northeast, Kashmir? No. Did it never occur to your mind that why is the media not reporting enough about Kashmir or about the Northeast? You'd go and do a simple Google search of the number of human rights violation cases that has happened, reported number of human rights violation cases that has happened in the last 1 decade in Kashmir and in the Northeast, then you and me, we would have a certain consensus on how Armed Forces Special Power Act is a problem. Media doesn't talk about it. Media is gagged. By whom? By corporates, by politicians. And a certain segment of the media population is owned by these people. They have their own channels to propagate, regulate the kind of information that they want. In a democracy, when people's opinion matter, people's opinion need to be shaped first for the public to actually spell out their opinions. When all you have had is milkshake in your life, you wouldn't know any other taste. And you have been told that milk is the best thing that can happen to human body. Yes, it's a problem, it's a lie. And we bought into that lie. We bought into that lie that milk is the best thing that can happen to human body. No. Apart from the first few months when your mother is breastfeeding, later on, when apart from your mother's milk, none of the milk that you consume from the sources is the best thing that can happen to you. That's about it. To come back to this, how journalism and journalistic practices influence public opinion. The kind of stories that are reported, you need to understand what kind of stories are reported, what kind of stories are ignored. Why the media is not talking about farmer suicides in Maharashtra or students' suicides in interiors of Andhra Pradesh. But there are huge number of stories about fashion weeks, apart from this kind of a discussion, the way we are raised and education also play a large role in shaping public opinion. So whatever your parents, your families, your relatives, your friends told you, that has gone deep inside your psyche. And it has shaped you in a certain way. Whether you naturally agree to it or disagree at this point in time is a choice you make. Because you are an adult, you can think for yourself. But what are you thinking? What can you think? That matters. When you are talking, you must talk for yourself as an individual. But do remember, you're carrying a lot of baggages with you. The baggages which were given to you right from your day of birth at this point in time, till this point in time. This is where the problem is. Try and understand. How many of you think that you are apolitical? How many of you think you are apolitical? You have an apolitical understanding of the world. You don't necessarily agree with the politics. You are apolitical. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Okay. And if I say that there is nothing apolitical in nature, that is not true. What is not true? That nothing is political in nature. Apolitical in nature. Nothing is apolitical in nature. That's the truth. That's what you are saying. That's not the truth. Okay. What makes you think that you are politically in nature? That you stay away from electoral politics? That is dirty. I don't want to talk about BJP and Congress and DMK and all these things. So since I don't have an opinion about political parties, that makes me political, apolitical. Is that what is understanding? I am expanding that part. I am saying that is one aspect of it, whether you have a political opinion about a political party or not. But when I say you are political in nature, what I mean is your own politics. The very fact that you are born as a man and somebody else is a woman, is born, you are born as a boy, somebody else as a girl, that creates a politics. That creates a politics of who you are and who that person is. You believe that you are a boy, is a girl, is that there is no difference of opinion there, right? This is where your politics. The day you are born into a politics. To begin with, you are born into the politics of gender. So when you say you are apolitical, that's a privileged stand you are taking. That's a privileged stand you are taking of disagreeing. Okay, I have nothing to do with this man. You have everything to do. Your disagreements is the politics. Your silence is the politics. By remaining silent, you are still contributing to public opinion. Because you would either be a part of the majority or a part of the minority. By voicing out your opinion, you are exactly doing the same. You don't exist in vacuum. You exist in the society. You are somebody. That's your identity. Umang Jain, that's a name, right? Why you are not Umang something else? You being born into a Jain family is the politics that you carry along. Do you consume meat? No, because we are told not to consume meat. No, that's a different thing. So if you still do and you're publicly accepting because this is being recorded. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So when you are saying that you being a Jain still consume meat, that's the politics you bring in by to subvert religious ideas or principles. That's what Jainism is, right? They there that you're not supposed to consume meat. Yet when you defy that, you are creating your own politics. I don't agree with that. That's okay. Your disagreement is the politics. That's what I'm trying to say. Each of us have an opinion, and this is where the moment we are opinionated, we need to understand that it is coming from a space of the politics of the self. Get that politics of the self is also vital when we talk about public consensus. Are we clear on this part? All right. Role of public opinion in democracy. Democracy means the rule of the people. In a democracy, elections are held in which public elect leaders who govern the country. Right? This part is clear. Therefore, public opinion is extremely important in democracy. It determines which party and politician comes to power and which policies are adopted. Whether the policies are liberal in nature, whether the policies are economically beneficial to the poor, whether the policies are something that are going to favor a religious majority. Every time you go into vote, these are the things that come into your mind. Why should I vote for X party or Y person? Many times you would come across this. I don't necessarily agree with the politics of the party, but I like the person. So I'll vote for the person. Happens, right? So such kind of decision-making process impacts, has a larger impact in the democracy. Politicians are constantly trying to understand public opinion, as it is the key to their success. They go out and scream at the top of their voice that we are here because public loves us. Is that true? Not always. Then why are they there at the first place? How did they get elected? Sorry? Yeah, that's what happens all the time. But what I'm saying is, how did they get elected at the first place? You're definitely not smoking or something and while going and putting your. It's not always the case that it happened with my grandmother, that she didn't cast a vote, but it was very she had yeah, yeah, happens all the time. Yeah. So, yes, there are different ways of obtaining that's a different thing. What I'm trying to say is, you still cast your vote, at least most of the time. And that's how it is. So the thing is, what is the volume of the public they're talking about? When you say that public loves us, that public isn't, it's not 1%, 2%. They're talking about 2.5 crore people, 5 crore people, 100 crore people. Do they have consensus and opinions of those 100 crore people? What is the voting turnout? You can see what is the voting turnout of 2019 elections, what is the voting turnout of 2014 elections, or any elections before that. What is the voting turnout of the recently held elections here? It is assumed. Okay, here is the thing. You have 100% public, 40% goes to vote, 35% elects one political party. What happens there? They win the elections. And they go out to public forums like LB Stadium and address the public saying that public loves us. A large part of the public didn't even go to vote. That's the deal. That's how it works. Do you disagree? Yeah. Yeah. That happens all the time. The whole thing is dynamic. That's what I'm trying to say. The whole thing is dynamic in nature. But understand, they still have when they get elected, they have power. They are going to work upon the whole thing of trying to change public consensus by offering you policies, by talking about things in one way or the other. A vibrant public opinion is extremely important for democracy. When the public is allowed to freely express their opinion, it acts as a check to the overgrowth of power, which is what is happening, that people are protesting against the farmers' laws. People were protesting against CNRC, implementation of CNRC. People were protesting before that when Aadhaar was pushed forward. But okay, then Aadhaar got linked with everything. So when there is freedom of expression, it becomes difficult for one group to seize power. So one might not control, because there will always be a dissenting crowd. There will always be a dissenting crowd. People who are anti-establishment in nature. Okay. Public opinion, on the other hand, has played a small role in communist countries than in democracy, because the power lies in the hands of the public. That's what at least is told. The public must raise its bar of understanding different socio-political scenarios before placing the rulers. The efforts to prevalent non-official links among the citizenry have made it more difficult for individual opinions to become related and for consensus to develop. What does that mean? The efforts to prevent non-official links among the citizens. What are non-official links? If Osmania University doesn't tell me that 30% from your own 30% of your marks that you write, that you get in at the end of a semester out of 100 is through assignment, I can only request you to do assignment. You might do, you might not. You are doing it out of respect for the person or the paper. But when it becomes compulsory, whether you like it or not, you submit the assignment. This is what it means.